In College Station, the city is currently enforcing the no more than 4 occupancy ordinance, which limits the number of unrelated people living together. Those who violate it could face a fine. Senate Bill 1567 was filed in the Texas legislature that would void the city's occupancy rules, and many in College Station are now voicing their opinions both in favor of and against the rules in place. Here recently, the Bryan-College Station Regional Association of Realtors sent a letter to the city of College Station about their stance, and joining us is the chairman of the committee. Chad, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, Katie. Thank you for having us. And this is such an interesting and contentious and polarizing topic, but there's just so much information and misinformation out there. So we felt that it was important just to issue a letter to the city of College Station, mainly to talk about the things that encumber us as realtors. So when we start talking about housing and treating people fairly, and we begin talking about qualifying people on the basis of being unrelated, it makes it very difficult for us. One of the things that Texas realtors have to comply with, which is really what puts us in a bit of a bind when we're serving owner occupants and tenants, is every single buyer and tenant representation agreement and listing document to lease or sell says broker services must be provided without regard to race, color, religion, national origin, sex, disability, familial status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Local ordinances may provide additional protected classes, for example, creed, status as a student, marital status, or age. In Austin, students are a protected class. In College Station, they are not. But every time we engage with a consumer, we're obligated to that. And so every day in College Station, realtors are getting clients in their car, we're taking calls at our office, and we're asking questions about how people are related, and it's very dangerous in the eyes of fair housing. So a couple things on our letter, and then I'll let you shoot some questions to us. But we wanted to let the community know that this is not a battle that we have against occupancy. It's specifically drilled down and about unrelatedness. It's about qualifying people on a human attribute. And we're hoping to redirect this city when we're looking at occupancy to look at things that are about the structure, things that are more quantifiable, not neighbor to neighbor trying to decide how related are these people or unrelated. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we issued the letter to the city because they had some feedback and issued a public letter regarding some testimony that our board did at the Senate. And unfortunately, some of the examples that we had to give were things that were called into our board of realtors from 2018 to present. And there's many, many more we could have talked about. But I think when those were heard by city staff and elected officials, it sounded, oh, you know, this is egregious. These are not true. But when you hear your policy coming back to an echo chamber and it sounds concerning, you kind of have to reevaluate that. So we wanted to set the record straight on some topics. And so we hope that citizens we serve in this community are going to go in and read this letter. We really want to work with our city to try to find a way to redirect this, because we've kind of gone down a path that's related to humanness. And I think the reason for the contention is when you deal with real estate and housing, and you're looking at humans, you tend to get humans at differences with each other, where if we're looking at structures and we're looking at square footage and other more quantifiable things, we don't polarize the citizens of our community.
We have a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
We want to know, what are those next steps forward? What are your hopes going forward?
Right. Well, you know, we don't know if the Senate bill and the companion bill in the House will pass. If that does, it looks very different in College Station. If it doesn't, our hope as professionals is that we reevaluate that policy and that we look at occupancy and overcrowding from a different perspective other than relatedness.
I know that we have limited time here today, so we will be sure to have more information on our website.
Perfect.
But Chad, thank you so much for coming in and telling us a little bit more about this.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.